everyone.
Hello.
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 How are we all?
I'm coming on camera in just a second.
No worries. No worries. Long time no see, everyone. I love your background, Sophia.
Beautiful.
It's my wallpaper.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. How's the house coming together?
Yeah, it's all right. It's slowing down, but I'm still cracking on with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it? You can't do it all at once. It's just building slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And how's everyone's weeks been? How was the kind of week off? How did everyone feel having a bit of a break? Because Emma spoke to Emma today. She said it was a bit kind of useful actually having just a bit of space to let some of it bed in, because it's allowing it to unfold. Sometimes it takes a bit of time, and that's okay.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. Yeah, I've enjoyed the week of just steadily pondering.
Yeah. And not having like any work to do and catching up, because I think that concept of always having something to do can be quite, it doesn't allow the free thinking to happen, which is the bit that we're trying to get to here. Is like, you might not logically know the answer, but it might just come to you in the shower or when you're on a dog walk. It might just happen quite fluidly, but we don't always allow for that. Awesome. Right, let's wait kind of a minute or so for the others, and then Caroline's gonna treat us to a little summer solstice kind of visualization today, aren't you, Caroline? I think
I am indeed.
Yeah, do you want to just explain a little bit about kind of a bit about the summer solstice for people that maybe don't know?
Yes, so obviously the summer solstice happened a couple of days ago, and it's a very important date in the sort of Wiccan calendar. And normally, obviously, people would be gathering at Stonehenge to sort of celebrate the sunrise and things, but sadly, because of COVID, it had to go virtual for the second time this year, which is a great shame because it's an amazing place to be. So yeah, it's just an opportunity really for people to be thankful for Mother Earth. You know, we're sort of halfway through the year where obviously you've got sort of daylight and nighttime sort of equally, and then obviously after the summer solstice then the light starts to fade very, very gradually. But it's a very important time in the Wiccan calendar. So yes,
it's nice to mark it as well, because I think sometimes these things are in the background, but they're actually quite big events that kind of make a bit of sense as to how you're feeling in certain ways as well. So it's kind of nice to honor and mark them, really. I've just dropped Janie a message. I know she was going to be slightly late, because I think she's just dropping her son off or picking her son off from somewhere. So what I think I'm going to do, Caroline, is let you get started and keep an eye on the waiting to let her in. And it's recorded, so she can always kind of catch up and do this in her own time. Then obviously Lizzie's away this week. So yeah, and I think we said about 5 minutes, didn't we? So she kind of get us settled, help us arrive, and then we'll kind of get into the content, really. So over to you. And as we always say, feel free to pop your cameras off or get relaxed, you know, any way you want. Yeah, whatever your preference is. I'm going to actually turn mine off today as well to completely get in there. Over to you.
Okay, so today I thought that we would do a lovely visualization to celebrate the summer solstice. So if everybody would just like to get settled in their chairs, make sure that you're comfortable, that your back's supported, and gradually close your eyes. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take in a couple of breaths. So if we breathe in through our nose and then breathe out through our mouth, and then we're going to breathe in through our nose again and then out through the mouth. And then we're going to do this a couple more times. So then let's breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. And we're just letting all of the stress go that we've accumulated through the day. So now, hopefully, we're nice and relaxed in our chair. I'm going to take you on a little summer solstice journey And I want you to imagine that you are walking through a beautiful green field. The sun is just starting to set, and you can hear bird song all around you. And we're just going to walk really slowly and very gently up towards the summit of a hill. So I want you just to be aware of your footsteps as you're walking up the hill, and just observing what you can see around you. Look at the beautiful colours of all of the trees and the plants, and just be aware of the nature that's around you. And as we're walking up the hill and we're watching the sun, we gradually get up to the summit of the hill. And when we get to the top, we're going to sit down on the hill, and we're just going to take a little breath and then just let out all of our stress of the day. So I've got a lovely little summer solstice prayer that we're going to say when we're on top of the hill. So, Spirit of life, source of all being, we stand on the edge of the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the time when the earth tilt brings us closest to the sun. It is the time of most promise, the most lush growth, and yet also the time when daylight begins receding. Both at once, both splendour and loss. This is how it is here on this beautiful blue-green hill, that we become aware of the vast space that is surrounding us. There is great joy to behold. The beautiful sights and summer are all around us. And as we sit on this lovely hill and bask in the lovely late sunshine, we enjoy the feel of the sun as it washes over our face and our body. Let us be thankful for the little things in our lives, for the beauty of nature that's all around us, for our family, for our friends, for work colleagues, and to be grateful for Mother Earth and all that she has to offer us. And as we are taking in all of this beautiful surroundings, we're going to just sit here just for a little while, just to enjoy the peace and tranquility that is around us. So let's just sit here with our eyes closed just for a couple of minutes, just enjoying the peace and the tranquility. And then when we're ready, I will bring you back. Okay, so we're now going to get up from the hill, and we're going to slowly walk down the hill back to where we started, observing all of the time the beautiful surroundings around us, so we can still feel the sun on our face and our body. We can still hear the birds' song, and we're aware of all the beautiful flowers and the trees that are around us. And we thank Mother Earth for allowing us just to spend a little bit of time enjoying nature on this summer solstice. And when you're ready, then open your eyes. Namaste.
Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Caroline. It was so nice to do a bit of a visualization, actually, because we're going to be doing some more visualization later, so we kind of warm up our visualization muscles. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Amazing. So how is everybody, and how was feel like I've not seen you guys for a few weeks, but I think it was kind of nice to have the break to let this settle. And I do actually offer a break every 3 weeks for that reason. And I think that it's actually a really good thing to do at the end of the module, just to allow some of it to like process. So I will be sticking with that in the schedule, because sometimes I tend to ask the group whether we want to continue through, but I do think that we've almost needed it, but we didn't necessarily know. No, we did at the time. So today's very much could be about our leader within. So you're meeting your leader within for the first time, which is very, very special, and it's going to be awesome. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick round the table of us just sharing one of our yeses and nos, because obviously we have had a full kind of few weeks to think about this. And actually I had a good chat with Emma today, and we kind of said there doesn't always have to be a yes and a no. There might just be a yes, because sometimes the yes and the no comes easier. But also you'll find that it can be flipped into a yes and then a no, the same thing sometimes. So don't feel like you're looking for the no. If that feels like something that you're like, oh, it's just not landing, don't force it. That's completely fine. So yeah, it'd be just good to feel into that really, and maybe share a bit about one way that it showed up in your life. So if your yes was getting out for a walk every day, you know, say kind of how you've been getting on honoring that as well, because this is all about creating new habits. So it's going to take a bit of consistency and time. So yeah, I would love to hear from some of you. I was going to pick on Janie, but she's gone. I'll pick on you to go first, Caroline, if that's all right.
Okay, yes, sure. So one of my yeses was, I say yes to getting more pleasure and joy in my daily life, and not just on the weekends. So I've been trying to do little things for myself every day, so that one of the things that I did is that I put all of my values on my phone so that it's visible and I can see it. Because I'm very much a visual person, so I love doing things like vision boards and things, and that works for me. So I've just been trying to make sure that I make a little bit of time for me each day, because I lead a very hectic life. And then my no, I say no to anybody who doesn't accept me for who I am and who tries to change me.
It's really strong. I love that. There's so much power in that, and the way you said it as well. It's like, you know, because of how we're saying these and like, you know, really embodying them says a lot as well. So it feels like you're really strong and confident in that one, which I love.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important, because I think that in the past, you know, I've let people change me, and I'm not prepared to allow that to happen anymore. And, you know, if you can't accept me for who I am, then, you know, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Hell yeah to that. Hell yeah. Definitely. Amazing. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thanks.
Who should I pick on next? Fiona, how did you get on?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's been 2 weeks since we caught up.
Yeah.
Frazzled would be the words, if I'm being brutally honest. So I only looked at this at the weekend and I thought, oh shit, we were meant to do this. And work's been wild, and I've just not had spare mental capacity, if I'm being 100% honest. So yes, it's written here, which is why I'm looking at it. In case you think she's just ignoring us. No, I'm not. I think my yes was just saying yes. My yes was saying yes to things that scare me, or things that I think, oh, I probably can't do that, or which is weird, because I think we spoke about it before, and it was kind of like Francesca, like if you have some aspects of your life, I'm very much like, no, I can do that. Like there's no like doubt in my mind that you can do, like I can do it. But like a lot of things, so I'd postponed my sports massage course, because I just thought COVID, I can't bear for it to be moved again. But I thought, do you know what, just get it done. There's something I'd gone into a gym, it's so weird, there was a monk there. It's so weird. And I just thought, and he said the girl that was with the monk was looking at the sports massage room, and at that point I was like, just get it booked. So I was listening to the universe clearly at that point. But yeah, that's my yes, saying yes to things that scare me. But I was laughing, actually, I was thinking of you guys the other day, because I was in a work call and the guy offshore was basically like, he said something about the guy that I work with, and I didn't think it was funny. So it was kind of cheeky, and I'm cheeky to the guy that I work with as well. But I just was like, I don't have the mental capacity to make you think that you're funny. So he was like, Fiona, is your like computer on mute? I said, no. That was it. I was like, I don't have anything for you right now. I don't have time for me, so I do not have time for you, which made me laugh. So I thought of all you guys actually at the time. And I was like, I must remember to tell them that was me being authentic. I didn't think you were funny, so I'm not laughing at you.
I love that.
Brilliant.
There's so much brilliance in that, isn't there? Just the fact that you're just like, no, like, because you didn't even make an excuse the second time round, did you?
No,
Like,
I was just like,
oh yeah, sorry, no, you just like,
no, I guess I was like, and as soon as I did it, I laughed to myself and I thought of all you and I thought I have to tell them.
yeah, I love that. And I feel like that feels a bit like getting uncomfortable as well. Like there's something about you saying yes to the things that, I don't know, feel uncomfortable in a way. There's
Yeah, and I think that's, and I often think as well, I read something that, you know, when there's uncomfortable and you just think this is wrong, and it's uncomfortable and you think, why is this making me uncomfortable? And I think it's the kind of things that I kind of think, why is it making me uncomfortable? They're the things I tend to think that you actually probably need to do. So
yeah, it's a good guide of like, if it makes me feel uncomfortable, I probably need to go there. Like it's a really
yeah, and that's kind of what I think, because if it's uncomfortable and it's bad uncomfortable, I think you know, don't you? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for sharing, and don't worry about feeling frazzled or feeling behind, because
sorry, I just like you were like so much space. I'm like, no.
no, life will get in the way. And I think sometimes if you have more space, it's harder to find the time because you lose your structure anyway. So it can be kind of a kind of catch-22 sometimes.
But yeah,
amazing. Thank you.
Got a few nuggets.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Maria.
Hello. I was doing them yesterday actually, these values, and I think at first I misread the first question of the quiz and I started with yeses. And then I read it more carefully. It's like, oh my God, it should be the other way around. But anyway, these are the values that I identified straight away a few weeks ago. And it's around appreciation that I'm not getting at the moment, and haven't had for a long time. I mean, external appreciation that also comes hand in hand with accomplishment in my case. So I made a point of, or I'm starting to make a habit of, patting myself on the back for the small things I do. Even if, obviously I always have a mental list of, a to-do list, and it's not always possible to tick certain things off. And I'm a great fan of ticking things off, you see. But then when I do, even if it's around, reading one page, something, whenever I wasn't planning that, but I did that, and mentally I tick it off and say, well, I made some time for this, so I should be appreciating myself for this. And then also, even though not everyone around me may be appreciating what I'm doing, but in the first instance I should be appreciating myself, and I should stop downgrading and underestimating myself. And that's what Sophia told me when we had our small chat, that it all starts with you. If you want others to do something for you, or appreciate you, or see you in a different light, you should be the one starting this.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And what are the words? Like, what are you saying yes to exactly? Like, if you had to sum that up.
Well, yes to doing things, yes to small wins.
Yeah, yes to the small wins. That's a really nice one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yes to the small wins. Yeah. And looking at, like, at the end of the day, what's been those small wins today, and really actively, like, intentionally patting yourself on the back for them and really celebrating them as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah,
And
I love it.
actually-
And you're each other's coaches here. So this is what this is all about. Like, you're going to pick up little nuggets from each other that absolutely make the difference to you.
And just making mental notes throughout the day that, oh, hang on a second, I really need to thank myself for something, I really need to make an effort of saying, okay, well done for, having done this or that. So otherwise you just, forget.
I love it. I love it. And it makes me think about something that I spoke about earlier with Emma, actually, about this whole self-love thing. Like, self-love is hard, if you don't know yourself, or you don't really get like yourself, or you haven't dated yourself. You know, we were talking about the fact that with a partner, like you wouldn't just like get married. You'd be like, well, I need to like get to know you. And I feel like this is what we're doing. We're like dating ourselves, we're getting to know ourselves, we're like getting to figure out like who we are and what we're about. And then Emma earlier was like, she's like, I'm pretty awesome, you know, like like I'm all right. And it's like when we get to that point, then self-love falls out of that. Do you know what I mean? It's so powerful though, because if we don't do that bit, then we can't jump to self-love suddenly because we've not bought into that process. And I thought that was a really beautiful perspective actually that we kind of came to earlier. So yeah, sorry, Emma, I'm making you shy by sharing that. Right.
All good, all good.
Emma, do you want to go next? I'm leading you in perfectly.
Yeah, so I definitely found the yeses easier than the no's. But it's really interesting listening to Caroline and hers. So one of my values is about being joyful, and I've got my yes is that I stole yours anyway, Caroline. I was going to listen to one song that I love each day, and I think that was one of yours from the previous time you did the course, wasn't it? And the no I've put is I will say no to kind of worst case scenario thinking, or that ruminating, that assuming other people are thinking things. I'm not quite sure of a concise way of putting it. And I wrote it down there thinking, well, that doesn't really make sense. I'm never going to do that. But actually, I went to a party on Friday, which is ridiculous. Haven't done that in a year and a half. But just with some work colleagues. So we see each other every day, and we thought, well, why don't we do something nice and see each other? And I kind of sometimes come away from those situations thinking, oh, was I a bit loud? Did I speak too much, or any of those things? And actually, I got home on Friday and went, well, stuff it. I don't care. I've had a really good time. I'm not going to worry about it. And that's what that is. So I put it down without actually then realizing I'd already started doing it on Friday. So
yeah, which is sometimes the way it happens. You label it, and then the kind of behavior falls out of it subconsciously. Yeah. And I think sometimes you won't find the action or behavior straight away. You'll just realize like, oh my God, that was actually me doing it. But it'll kind of, that's why the pressure of knowing it now it isn't going to help, because you'll just naturally find yourself just figuring this stuff out over the next period of time, really. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Thank you. Who wants to go next? Francesca.
Hello. Emma, actually, it's funny because I've been noting down some quotes while reading the Jay Shetty book, and I was thinking, this is the ones that I'm not what I think I am, I'm not what you think I am, I'm what I think you think I am. And I was like, it's so true.
I love
it's so
that
true.
quote.
It's so ridiculous because why am I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking. But that just sort of reminded me as you were speaking there. So I took the past couple of weeks, I'm having like a purge of my house and just getting rid of stuff. I'm doing a 30-day declutter challenge with like an old uni friend. So like day 1 you get rid of one thing, day 2 you get rid of 2 things, except I'm just getting rid of hundreds of things, and it's so nice and freeing. And I got rid of like 50 items of clothing the other day. No one should have 50 items of clothing to get rid of, and shoes and this and that. I've still got more to do, but I was going through my my box of personal stuff as well yesterday, from just teenage letters and silly things, and I kept a lot of them. I was like my friends and I used to write in school to each other, but there were ones from exes or just silly people that I don't care about. Not in a horrible way, I just don't care. They're not in my life anymore. And so I was like freeing. I binned them, and it was really nice because I'm not that person anymore. I don't want. There are lots of there are lots of things that I do like about myself. There are lots of things I didn't like about myself when I was a teenager, and so those things that the memories that were bad memories I was getting, and it was so freeing. But anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. So my yes was to read every day, even if it was a chapter of a book or something, because my values of sort of being curious and being knowledgeable are lacking because I'm not doing my studies at the moment as it starts October, and I was just finding that I was even if I read a chapter or something, I think that's good, and that's a start. And usually I would end up reading more anyway. And then the no, which kind of goes with the yes, is no, I don't need to pick my phone up every time it buzzes. I've turned off so many notifications on my phone, but even still, I've been waiting for calls the past couple of days. I've had it on loud, and I hear a ding, and I'll be like, I don't have to run. I'm in the middle of doing something. I need to focus on what I'm doing. I need to continue with reading my chapter of my book. Whoever's there,
Have you
it's fine.
Have you watched, I can't think of the name of it, is it called The Social Network or something? There's a Netflix documentary, and that sums up, doesn't it? It makes you realize you're the product, and once you think of it like that, you're like, no, I'm not doing it, you're not getting my attention.
I think about that when I do that, because I was, when I get into clearing, I've got so much, I've spent, my husband can't believe I'm still on the bedroom, because I just had stuff crammed in the wardrobe. I mean, and I've got my daughter's room to do next, which has other stuff, my stuff crammed into a corner. But I said, I have to go through everything bit by bit. I can't just bin. I have to process. This is taking me time. So every time my phone would ding,
it's like a rebirth. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, this is emotionally like clearing as well as physical clearing. And like, I don't know, Caroline probably have a view about why Francesca's doing that at the summer solstice too. There is a reason why you're doing that at the end, at this point in time seasonally too, because actually, again, like, it's of that rebirth piece around like clearing and then becoming something new, or stepping into kind of letting all that stuff go that's maybe been holding you back too.
I definitely feel that. I mean, my birthday's 21st of March, so I'm a spring solstice baby. But no, I definitely have this want to, and for me to move forward and to whatever I want to do with my job, or with my friendships, I need to do this and clear this area, my area, in order, because I can't think, but I've got stuff everywhere. Doesn't help that my husband's friend is about to move in for a month because he split up with his partner, but anyway, that's a whole different story. It's allowed me to then go and clean out the spare room and move things. But it's been a nice
thing to do at the start of this journey as well. Like, it's definitely going to allow space for who you're becoming, because sometimes, and this is what I often say, like, sometimes we've not let go of who we were before we try and become someone new. So then it's kind of like, energetically, you're kind of like push and pull. There's like a bit of a
pushing it,
and you kind of got to clear it to allow that new or something better to come in. And we don't often do the letting go bit because it's hard sitting with those emotions, but you do have to physically process that and let it go. It's just sometimes knowing how to. But yeah, that's awesome that there's a physical way you're doing that, really.
Doing it,
Awesome, thank you. Janie, next. How are you getting on? I know you said you had a bit of a tough week in terms of time and things. So again, like, no pressure if you haven't got to anybody, like, just say what you want.
A bit, just being truthful, I'm struggling with everything at the minute. I think a bit like maybe Fiona's feeling. I just feel overwhelmed. I really got this desire to change and do a new career, and I'm getting overwhelmed with it all. I think I'm getting emails every day about jobs. I'm looking at courses, I'm applying for things, I'm trying to do my own job, and I just feel like I can't get anywhere, and I just feel a bit downbeat, which I know probably not a good thing to say, but I'm just being honest.
No, but I think I'd rather you be honest. And actually, one thing I'd say to you, Janie, is like, take it away completely right now, the search. We'll get to module 3 and look at life purpose, and that will really make you clear about what the impact is and what the difference is. But actually, you can't figure out who you are and be figuring out what you want to do at the same time. So maybe just focus on like who you want to be right now, and know the rest will come. Maybe take it completely out, just so you're not kind of trying to do too much at once.
I think that's it. I know what I'm doing now doesn't match my values, because it's helpful to see what maybe would suit me better. But yeah, I just feel totally overwhelmed. So I did do some of my yeses and nos. When I do feel low, I definitely do the wrong thing. I look at my phone, I shut off from my friends where I probably should be speaking to them. I shut down. So I've put no to texting and yes to calling and meeting people.
And that's
it's really
simple,
hard,
isn't it? That's really simple,
so
though.
hard.
That's like really simple message of actually like such a simple yet effective frame,
I know I do it, and I've been doing it lately. I've been sort of, not replying to people straight away, and I think it's just because I just don't feel in the right headspace. And I've just written down while you were talking there about no to looking back and yes to looking forward, because I think I'm doing a lot of ruminating and about things in the past that I should have done. So there's
there's a bit around like there's a reason why you didn't do them then, because actually this is part of your story and part of your why. Because you weren't meant to do it then, and I think accepting that, even if you don't understand it, is quite powerful, because we all are meant to find these bits of the puzzle that, in our different ways. That's why we're unique. There's no set plan. So but it takes a bit of forgiveness with that, doesn't it, as well?
It does. And I think, another one is yes to looking after myself, because I love what everyone's saying, like Emma and Fiona about, and Caroline, about saying, no, right, if you're not good for me, you're out. But I'm just, I'm not there yet. I'm a bit of a people pleaser. I worry about what everyone thinks.
But you will get
there. It's I know what I should do.
And start with you, like figure out what makes you feel good. Like it's starting with those bits that feel doable, and actually you'll find that then you can take on more and then tackle the other bits that come from there. But right now it's feeling into kind of when my mood's low, like what makes me feel better, because actually it all starts from those simple things, really. You've got this, don't beat yourself up. And we've got you too.
Thank you.
Jamie, because I was going to say thank you and well done for joining us, because if you're feeling that overwhelmed,
I did a bit. I thought, oh no, I need to put on a jolly face and be.
No.
But
we don't need a joyful face. We just like your face.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I did one thing I realised was, because I do feel a bit like in the morning I feel a bit low, and even today on a lovely day I thought, but I've realised, it's up to me how the day goes. I do have choices and ways that I can change things. So I don't just have to drop my little boy at school and come home. I could go off for a walk and listen to a podcast or listen to a nice song. I don't have to just do the usual. I can make a change. And
that sounds like a really nice inquiry into like, what could I do after I drop my son off that makes me feel good, and play around with that over the next week. Do maybe every day do something slightly different and feel into like which of those made me feel better. Really use that slot and use that time to experiment with it. Because you already know it's kind of already there. We've just got to be a bit playful with trying a few things out.
That's it.
Amazing. And least but not last, Sophia.
Hi. So much the same. So my yes, and it's kind of quite timely, I guess, but my yes is kind of taking care of myself and listening to my intuition. So I've recently had to take sick leave from work because of burnout, like complete and utter burnout, in that it was almost, and usually kind of I get really kind of stressed and overwhelmed at work, but it just got to a point where I just almost didn't care anymore, which is worse in a way, especially because of the job that I do. And I spoke to my manager and she was like, right, it's time for you to step off the roundabout. And I was like, oh, that's such a nice way of putting it, just kind of almost like taking one part out so I can then focus on me. So my yes is very much like, and usually what I would have done is kind of be like, no, I can push through, like I want to be there for my patients and students and stuff. But this time around I just said, you know what, no, I need to take time out, I need self-care, and I need to listen to that, and that's really important. So that's something I haven't done before, so that felt really kind of
liberating. And it's an amazing thing for you to give to yourself through this journey too, because you've got it's probably no almost coincidence that has been given to you at a time when you can now actually ask yourself these questions in a way that you can actually give yourself a chance to find the answers as well. So I like that step off the roundabout analogy, because it's not about moving backwards at all. It's just about taking a breath, isn't it?
So very much kind of like allowing myself that time, because I would be the same. I'd beat myself up, I'd feel awful, I'd feel guilty, and actually just just saying no, like clearly I need this. So it's been quite powerful actually. And and I think the no is kind of to getting to that place where I feel so overwhelmed and so stressed.
Yeah,
and, you know, so almost
you'll
like
know the signs a bit more now, won't you? Intuitively, you'll know kind of, oh, you'll kind of feel like, oh, that's coming again, or I recognize that feeling, to kind of anticipate it happening before it does. And that's often the case, isn't it, with burnout? It's reactive, but actually, yeah, intuition feels like it's a really important part of that. Yeah, interesting. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Maria, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add to Sophia's case. It's always worth remembering that, like, in an unlikely event of a plane crash, you have to give, you put a mask on yourself first and then on everybody around you, because if you can't survive, you can't be of help to anybody else, unfortunately. So, you really have to, exercise self-care, at all times, and put yourself first. So
absolutely,
cool.
I love that. It's a really nice reminder, isn't it? We hear that, but we don't maybe believe it or understand how important it is until maybe we get to the other side where we're burnt out and then we can't do any of the other stuff, and then it becomes a reality, really. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. I think it's always really important just to give ourselves a chance to reflect back, because I think sometimes that's the mirror that you are to each other, but also explaining that outwardly and voicing that is a big part of you stepping in and owning that as well, because we remember what you say, and I will ask you how it's going too, in terms of accountability. But yeah, the rest of this session is about Leader Within. So I'm really excited about this. So we're gonna do probably about 10-minute visualization, whereby we're gonna lead you through your first ever meeting with your Leader Within. And I often say with this, you probably will want to do this 3, 4, 5, 6 times again in kind of your own time, because doing it in like a physical environment like this is definitely important. But you might also prefer to go away and like work through it in your own time as well, because your mind will get in the way and think, I need to see this or that, or you'll kind of don't worry if you kind of find it hard if you've not done much of this visualization stuff before. But I just want to say, in terms of like an introduction to your Leader Within or your captain, so everything with the journey within is obviously water analogy. So we can call it your captain, or you can call it your Leader Within, depending on what term resonates. But it's basically your like inner authority, and it's kind of you leading yourself by example and standing in full self-acceptance. So it's that feeling of like, I completely know who I am, where I'm going, what I'm all about. And it's actually when you're in alignment with all of your values all at one time. So it's that real feeling of like, I don't know, tingling from head to toe, like being so sure about who you are in the world and knowing you're exactly where you need to be. And it's about connecting to that energy of actually, when we've connected to this inner resource that's within ourselves, any situation is then kind of available to us, and we can use this tool to then go into a situation, get into an energy, and then use it to like find a solution to a different outcome. So it's a different tool, because obviously the first tools are quite logical tools around like different decisions and yeses and nos, but this is a very kind of energetic, it's a really different way of using a tool to then support you moving forward. So again, we like to kind of do loads of different types of stuff, because you'll like some of the stuff more than others, but I won't say too much more. We're just going to get into it. And yeah, we're going to like debrief it in groups after, spend a bit of time kind of asking a few questions. But yeah, for now, turn your cameras off and get comfy. So your Leader Within is your inner authority, who leads by example, standing in full self-acceptance and claiming full self-authority of your life's journey. Your Leader Within is both an expression of who you are now and who you are becoming. They are the chooser within you, who knows how to make life-affirming choices that lead you to the fullest expression of your life purpose and values in every aspect of your life. And the key attributes of your leader within are self-acceptance and self-authority. So self-acceptance is the co-aspect of your leader within. So do you accept yourself just as you are right in this moment? It's a choice, really. If you don't choose yourself, it's hard for anyone else to do that too. And the body posture of self-acceptance is feet firmly planted on the ground with hands over your heart. The active expression of your leader within is self-authority. We don't always have to say over the circumstances of our lives. We are born, we live, we die, good things happen, challenging things happen. The story we create from what happens in our lives belongs to us alone. Are we willing to claim responsibility for the life story we are writing? Or do we give that away to be written by other people who will tell us who we should be and what we should do? Your leader within is with you always there to guide you. And sometimes the brilliance of your leader within gets covered over with the mud of judgments of other people's unconscious habits. So we're going to get comfy and I'm going to guide you through a short guided visualization now. Okay, so I'd like you to turn your attention inward and allow your eyes to drift gently closed. Take a few deep breaths and come present to yourself in this moment. Feel your feet planted firmly on the floor and imagine that you had roots growing deep into the earth. Good. Take a comfortable, easy breath in and place one hand on your heart. See if you can feel your heartbeat, as the powerful muscle of your heart pumps life-giving blood to every cell in your body with every beat. Now imagine the essence of your heart, the love and compassion and tenderness for your world that lives here. Let your heart fill with all the love and tenderness and compassion within you. I'd like you to spread that love and compassion around to all parts of you. What are your unique strengths and abilities? The ones that you really want to celebrate. Spread love and compassion around those qualities. And now notice the things you judge about yourself. And spread love and compassion to those parts as well. Notice your fears here and surround them with the same love and compassion. Feel your whole being, all parts of you, the shining wholeness and the broken bits, with this loving self-acceptance. Know that all of it is part of you and belongs here. All of it is needed for the fullest expression of your humanity. And this is the resonance of self-acceptance, finding love and compassion for every single part of yourself, the light and the shadow. So now we understand a bit about how that feels. I'd like you to put your other hand on your gut and feel the power and instinct that lives there. Feel the drive to create and the fire of your life purpose. Feel your commitment to be the author of your life and spread that power and instinct and self-authority to all parts of you as you did before. Put your attention on the strength of your spine and solidness of your feet planted firmly on the ground and ask yourself, what do you care about? What matters enough to you that you will take a stand for it? Now, in your imagination, I would like you to take a step back and look at your leader within. What do they look like? What do you sense as you look at your leader within in their beauty and power? Maybe a color comes up that you can access. Maybe you have an idea of what they look like. Maybe notice how they move, how they sound, what they're wearing. Maybe they remind you of someone that you already know or used to know. How does your leader within dress? We're going to stay connected to your leader within and use your imagination to look out over the varied landscape of your life and know that this landscape belongs to you and no one else. Know that you are the author of your own story and ask yourself, what do you want to contribute? What do you want to make real in your world? And how do you want to express your life purpose and your values? This is the resonance of self-authority. We're going to bring our attention back to our heart now, accepting all of it, the challenges and easy places in our life's journey, the lightness and the joy, and the darkness and difficulty. We're going to expand our heart to accept every single bit of it. We're going to take a brief moment just to express gratitude for the love and power of our leader within. And take a deep breath, breathing in this experience, and another deep breath. And just know you will remember what you need to remember. Another breath. Take a stretch, move your body, and let your eyes drift slightly open. And then when you're ready, take a few notes from this experience if you'd like, or come back to the room. How was that, everyone? A few nods. Did anyone feel like it was strange?
Yeah, gonna need a bit more practice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. But there was one line that I did have to note down while you were saying it. My memory is terrible, so I was like, I just have to. Was
yeah.
What would I take a stand for?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Really
it's a good life purpose question. That's a really good life purpose question. I think with this stuff, and this is why Lizzie is actually going to do she's going to run a little bit of next week's session, and she's more of like an embodiment, and she's training in Reiki as well. But it needs a lot of embodiment practice, because actually sitting with those feelings of self-authority and self-acceptance and really resonating and feeling those feelings is how we'll then visualize the leader within. But if we can't access that feeling or emotion to that place, it's going to be very hard for us to connect to that, which is why it will take 3, 4, 5 times of you literally like going through that and really connecting and feeling the fact that you love those bits that are broken, or that you kind of really connect with what you take a stand for and feeling into that. And it's not something I do it as a group, but everyone always has the same reaction, because it's not something you would just suddenly know and see. Some people do see kind of color, or see someone like their mum or something like that, you know, as an image that comes through. But don't worry if you don't. No pressure. You're not doing it wrong. Anyone that did see kind of like an image or anything that kind of popped into their mind when they were looking at their leader within?
Yeah, I saw a beautiful golden light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And is that a quite common, Caroline, in terms of like the gold, I mean? Like, is that a color that kind of has a resonance with you, or is that kind of quite new?
That sort of color is quite new. I actually, on the weekend, I actually bought a crystal that I've never chosen before, but I was really drawn to. It's a spiritual healing crystal, but it's a gold color, and I just felt really drawn to it. So
interesting. Perfect. And did anyone struggle more or less with self-acceptance or self-authority? Did one of them feel like the heart and the gut? Like, did one of them feel easier to connect with than the other? Or both a bit kind of?
Both a bit kind of challenging, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as you kind of sort of say the word self-acceptance, it can kind of link you into some of the negative stuff. So learning to not go straight there, I think is going to be part of the skill as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is it's really different. This is really different because this is kind of really sitting with yourself in a way that maybe we haven't before, and it actually doesn't allow our mind to get involved because you're looking to the body for the answer. So it's a really different shift, but it's why we offer both, because actually they're really important tools to learn. And we will do like a full session next week on like almost embodiment and really trying to connect to these two areas a bit more. But I think giving you a week to go away and almost do those visualizations and work through some of that on your own will be really interesting, because you'll probably get an idea of things that come to you when they can on their own, rather than kind of in a situation where you're being asked like, how did it go, and that provides pressure in itself. So we're going to just briefly go into a bit of a breakout room. So you're going to go into 2 threes, and I've just got a few questions that you're going to ask yourself, and it might be pretty tricky based on some of you that maybe said, oh look, there's not necessarily something that kind of came up here, but I just want to ask you how you might use your leader within to support you to stay in alignment with your values. Okay, so that's a question you'll kind of explore as a group. In terms of some of the practical things, so like me and Emma spoke a little bit about a situation at work that was quite kind of uncomfortable, and the inner critics came out and started getting really loud and noisy, and that's a situation you could actually connect there and then to your leader within with an image or an access or a palm stone or whatever, to actually connect you to a different place, into a different energy, to then regain that situation. So this is about how we use the leader within as a tool to then support us in our day-to-day lives as well. And if anyone did find or thinks about an image that they have access to, then again, like, it might be worth exploring that. So if you're in Caroline's group, exploring the gold light and just understanding a bit more about like what it is about that light, you know, is there something there that kind of is juicier? Yeah, and I will, in the module, you'll see my leader within, and you'll see a little bit of the vision board, because at this module we do a lot of vision boarding, which really helps because it's all about accessing different energies. So we all have so much energy available to us, a massive spectrum, but we only use like 20%. So it's about knowing that it's all within us. We just have to like almost open Pandora's box, and then we realize it's all there and we've had it all along almost. So I will give you 5 minutes or so to just kind of debrief, ask a few of those questions, and it's a chance just to kind of like have a chat. So again, like, don't worry if you're feeling like, oh my God, nothing, I don't know the answers, like this should hopefully just take that worry away. Okay, so just give me a second and I'm going to let it do its thing, how I always do. And then you should have oh yeah, there's one group of 4, one group of 3. That's right. Awesome. Off you go.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Exciting.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, amazing. And
So
does she
funny.
have a name, Fiona?
Yes.
No.
But
That's
she's
interesting.
got
'Cause in my story, she was just the captain.
Right.
But there you go. So that's
Yeah,
perfect.
because before we'd done the visualization, I was like, captain doesn't really resonate. It was the leader within. So that's an interesting shift as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Mm.
And she's
I missed
definitely
that,
got some
Fiona.
attitude.
So you knew you found your leader within, did you? Or you kind of connected?
Yeah, I was
image?
just saying, I did a writing course a couple of years ago, and I wrote this story about a female pirate, and it was her. It's how I imagined her to look.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, the
Love
captain.
her.
Who knew?
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
No.
I'm all here for pirates. There's a book called Be More Pirate, which is about actually just how amazing pirates were in their social standing and in the way they approach life, and their you know, how they're the first entity, I suppose, to have gay marriage and social security and the whole works. Pirates are great. You always want to be a pirate.
Oh, I
Maybe
love
we should just do that. Maybe we should all just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about channeling your inner pirate. I love that. That could definitely work. Like, you know,
Yeah, that's what I figured too.
maybe that's what we're doing in our alumni meeting. We're like going to come dressed as pirates.
You say that, but I think we might.
Yeah, I know. I'm not joking.
Yeah, Caroline's got like a bright energy, whereas I'm like, she's a badass pirate.
Yeah. But I think as well, this is like important to remember, like your leader within right now is helping you become the version of yourself that you're becoming. But actually, right, it might change. So if, say, Francesca is looking at like a big kind of career search at the moment and like changing a different role, like her leader within energy might be different based on compared to someone that maybe had just started a new job or have got something else going on. You know, it's about realizing that they can take you so far. It's to the next layer of growth almost, but then it can always change and you might need something different. So there's something about Fiona, like you needing a bit of that badass energy of like, I need to get shit done. I need to, like, you know, and that's okay. That's part of it that you obviously need right now from that energy, and someone else's would be completely calm. Like for me, a lot of it is trying to help me access peace, because it's not that easy for me to be peaceful. It's easier for me to be like very high energy and like energetic and getting things done. But the next phase of myself is like checking in with my body more and becoming more present. So actually my leader within will help me get there. So it's just thinking about it in that way too might help. But yeah, you'll get random colors and images like pop into your head probably over the next few days, of which you're like, I don't know what to do with these. Like I had people on my other course, Molly, actually, Caroline, that you know, was a butterfly.
Yeah,
that was metamorphosis, like that.
Yeah.
Metamorphosis, how do you say that?
Yeah, metamorphosis, yeah.
And of that whole becoming and rebirth like process of actually a butterfly is an amazing metaphor for that analogy. So again, like thinking about it as like what sums up kind of the process that I'm going through here as well. Yeah.
Caroline, what is it about the color, do you reckon?
I think it's because it sort of reminds me of sort of sunshine, of brightness and things. I'm
Oh, that's what happens when Natalie enters the room recording.
What did I do? Sorry.
You entered and it said recording in progress. So
Oh, yeah.
When you come, the recording comes.
Oh, sorry. Oh, was that?
It's fine. No, it was fine. It was just funny for me.
How are you guys getting on?
Yeah, I think we were just saying that we need more time to process it, like to slow it down, think about each section, maybe individually. Half of us saw a green light, half of us saw nothing.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to see a light. That's just one kind of perspective, really. I was in the other group, Fiona saw a pirate. So hers is like a leader within pirate. And then we were talking about being a pirate. So there's this whole joke now about about the pirate. So again, it is kind of, I think that the mind gets in the way, and I think sometimes it's just like something will come up. And so in the other group, we had someone, Molly, who hers was a butterfly, a metaphor for a butterfly, because it kind of represented that whole journey of like the rebirth piece we were saying earlier. So it's kind of, you might just see something over the next week and just be like, oh, there's something about that kind of resonates with me, and then you can then place it in terms of the leader within and put the pieces together. But it won't necessarily happen when you're kind of forcing it to happen. But the concept is that it's all there within you. It's just kind of allowing ourselves to slow down enough to hear it, I guess, really. But yeah, let me know how you get on with the recordings, because I can always, if it's useful for you guys, to always record it in different parts as well, because it's recorded as a whole. But if you want me to put together some individual recordings, then let me know if that works, because it can be a lot to do at once, in one sitting, really. So yeah, I'll give you guys one more minute and then I'll bring you back.
Cool.
Amazing. We are back. What are you giggling about?
We ended
Jack
up
Sparrow,
Johnny
one would
Depp.
imagine.
Oh, you what? Sorry.
We ended up talking about Johnny Depp.
Oh, did you? Well, that's a good
Pirates, you know.
Yeah.
I love that. There's definitely, that's going to be one of my memories from this course. Be more pirate. Just be more.
It's a really good book as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good mantra, like to say to yourself every morning. Awesome. Fab. Welcome back, everybody. How did your conversations go? Anything that kind of was useful? Was there anything that people picked up about how this could probably help them with, well, maybe you're not there yet with answering that question about values, but you'll see when you feel into this more that actually the value work becomes a lot easier when you're stepping into that self-acceptance and self-authority feeling, because actually the resonance is there and you're then able to be kind of surer about kind of standing behind those commitments, and it will get so much easier because of the nature of the feeling that you're feeling when you're then actioning the yes or the no. Anyone want to share anything? Fiona, you have to share yours, obviously.
I was just saying, I did a writing course a couple of years ago, and it was about a female pirate. So as soon, like I was saying to the girls, like, as soon as anyone says to me visualization, my heart sinks a little bit, because I'm just like, I can't visualize what you want me to visualize. But as soon as it started, I just imagined her. So we're talking like proper, like leather trousers, over the knee boots, red top. We're talking full blown badass pirate.
Of that.
Yeah,
And then,
Blackbeard.
and then Emma was saying there was a book called Be More Pirate, and I'm like, if there's one thing that will stay with me from this course is be more pirate. Like that's just all you need in life. Like just be more pirate. Like then
Pirates were awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do a book club on that book.
I'll find it and link it in Slack.
All you need to know.
I'd love to. I feel like it definitely needs to be on the reading list, doesn't it? Everything's going to now like be completely rebranded. It's going to be a pirate course. Oh my God, but it makes sense, doesn't it? With my analogy of the water and the captain.
Yes,
ship.
perfect. It's
It's
like
the
it was
missing
meant.
link. It has to be the pirate. Oh, well, thank you. See, I'm learning so much. Anyone else want to share anything that kind of cropped up for them? And this will just need a bit more time. So like, don't worry if not, because I want you to go away and just spend some time sitting with this and maybe breaking it down. I said I can record it in some chunks if that's easier, so you don't have to do it as all one whole visualization, because it can be a lot to kind of get your head around if you've not necessarily kind of understood those words and stuff before. But yeah, does anyone want to share anything? All good. Happy. Amazing. Caroline, question for you. Have you done much of this before?
What, around sort of being your own captain?
Yeah, like in a resource, in a stuff like that, because I know that this is
Yeah.
to your
Yeah, no, I've done a bit, not a lot. But you know, when you were talking and everything, and you were saying about, you know, what would you reject, it goes back to my value about sort of saying no, you know, to people who don't serve any purpose. You know, and yeah, I mean, obviously I'm very into visualization, so for me it's probably an easier process than maybe some other people. But we were talking about the sort of golden light, and I was saying, you know, that I'm trying to get more sort of warmer colors into my wardrobe. So, you know, I've got into yellow, and we were sort of saying, you know, that yellow is associated with joy and light, and I was saying about sunflowers, you know. And
that's lovely. So you've almost got some kind of real life metaphors, or like real life kind of actual kind of physical things to bring that through.
Yes.
As well. Color's massive. I think it's a really big tool to kind of access some of the emotions in our body. And you sent that diagram about the energy centers too.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, like us thinking about it in terms of color and then where it is in our body is really helpful.
Yes.
For us to be more in our body. Yeah, color's massive. And I weirdly with my leader, then you'll see it in the work, but it's green, like it's a green goddess with a stake in the ground. And but I didn't see that initially. It took me probably 2 or 3 weeks to kind of really get clear, and then it all just kind of like every time I did it, it was like more of the kind of puzzle became. But it's, you know, everyone's different with this. So yeah, it's definitely going to challenge you guys. It's a really different activity. It's a different approach. And like I said, Lizzie's kind of more on the embodiment side. She's going to be leading a few of the sessions around like this and the allies, because our allies are all about other energies within us as well. So it's about understanding. So for me, for example, I have like a Jack Russell energy, and I have a Buddha energy, and I have a wise owl energy. So I have all these different parts of myself that I can then lean on and embrace to then support me in different situations. And it's about understanding, like, what do I want more of in my life? And actually you realizing I already have access to that, but actually through embodying it, I can realize that actually it's all available to me. So again, this is a really vision boarding heavy module in that, it's like your internal crew, and then we'll look at the external crew of who we want to choose to have in our lives from a physical perspective. But it's actually all within us, a lot of what we need. So on that note, I will not overwhelm you anymore. But yes, I will let you guys get on with your evening. Lovely to see your beautiful faces again. We've got Lizzie back next Monday, and then looking forward to. We'll spend a bit more time on Leader Within next week. I'd usually just go straight on to allies, but I think it's important to really get that right. So yeah, looking forward to it. And please reach out. I always say with the calls, one-on-one calls, a lot of people want to use them in this module just because it's a little bit harder. But yeah, feel free if you want to have a quick chat or anything like that, because I don't want you to feel stuck on it, but just give it a bit of time.
So Natalie, in terms of module 2, how much of module 2 do you want us to do?
Literally only it's like 2.1 basically.
Okay.
So you go up to I think the actual wording for it is you basically don't go into finding anything about your allies.
No.
So it's just like leader within a captain, and it's just that module. So there's like 4 or 5 activities in there. And as soon as it breaks, so every call, we don't go beyond a module, beyond a chunk, if that makes sense. So we always stop at a line where we then go on to the next bit and debrief. So anything around allies, we're not even touching yet. So we want to look at this bit first. Yeah. Amazing. And feel free to, like I said, send me your work and bits like that as well, because I love seeing it all. It makes a big difference to how, just so I know it's landing and that I know where you guys are at, really. So yeah, like I say, I always am here for 15-20 minutes, just if anyone wants to have a quick chat. But anyone that has to go, I'll let you go as well, because I know you've got places to be. It's a lovely evening too. The sun's definitely come out again, hasn't it? Which is nice. But yeah, enjoy. Thank you for showing up and bringing all of yourselves as ever, and have a lovely week.
Okay.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you so much.
Caroline, thank you for the visualization. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Natalie, quick one. Where do you do your vision boards?
Where
Like,
do I do it?
Where do you create them?
Yeah,
just on a computer, or?
Yeah,
I do mine by hand. So what I do is I get some you can get coloured cards, you can get whatever card you want, and then what I do is you can either cut out images from magazines or print stuff off. So if you've got like photographs and things that you want to use, then what I do is then I put them onto a piece of paper, print them off, and I also